What's up, YouTube? This is Speak the Merc coming at you with the new deck profile that I'm going to be taking to Arlington on September 3rd this coming weekend. And I just wanted to share it and see if y'all had any thoughts or improvements that I should do. It's a very unique build. I just got it in. And I've had a lot of really good testings with it, so I really wanted to share it with you guys. So the deck I'm going to be sharing today is Aromages. It's a very control build, so let's get right into it. For the monsters, we have 18 monsters. I'm going to be running triple Jasmine. You have to run triple Jasmine. This is your draw power of the deck. Every time you gain life points, you draw a card. And if you, this is your extra normal summon as well. If you have more life points than your opponent, you can normal summon one extra time, which is really helpful. The second monster, I'm going to be running triple Rosemary. Her effect is mandatory. When you gain life points, you have to switch a monster on the field. Switch their battle position. So if you summon her only and your opponent doesn't have any monsters or anything and you gain life points, you have to put her in defense mode. So you got to be very careful when you use this card. When your life points are higher than your opponent's, if she attacks into a monster, its effects are negated. So like Marshmallow, Cyber Jars, whatever, you flip effects, anything like that, none of them will activate until the end of the damage step, which most of the time you can't really do anyway. And then I run double Kanaga. I do this to get rid of like field stuff in the back, such as like Phoenix Chains and whatnot. If you like Phoenix Chains my Rosemary or Jasmine or something like that, if I gain life points, I can bounce a spell trap back to your hand. And then if I have more life points than you, then all your monsters lose 500 attack and defense. So it really helps when you're going up against big guys. So, because it brings them back down to my level, and it does a lot of damage. And then I run the one Bergamet. She's my big beater. I don't really like using her for whatever else. She's a dead draw. You don't want her in your hand. But she goes into your Synchro 7 plays, and then she can get up to 3,900. When your life points are higher than your opponent's, if she attacks into a defense monster, it's a piercing. And then every time if you gain life points, she increases her attack by 1,000, so she'll be a 34 plus the 500 from the filled spell makes her a 39. So she gets really big. And then of course with the plant deck, you have to run the triple Lone Fire. Since it's very control-y, I don't like really running to a lot. If I draw one, I'm going to use them up right then and there, so that if I draw into Soul Charge or something, I have that Soul Charge play. But since I run a lot of control in here, I don't really like doing it. And here's one of those control cards. I run the double Cactus Bouncer. If I control another plant type, nobody can special summon. So I have like a Jasmine in defense mode, a 2400 defense, and this is on the field. You can't special summon. And I can't special summon either, but I mean, most of the time, it's still really, really good. So I figured, why not? And then I run the triple Jurighetto. Jurighetto, during declaration of battle phase, I can special summon and gain 1,000, so I can get my effects off during the battle phase that you attack into my monster, which a lot of times with Rosemary, I can put your monster in defense mode so its attack isn't negated or anything. And then if you attack into a monster, even when he was on the field, I can tribute him, and it gained 1,000 attack points, so it could, lessen the amount of damage I take, or just whatever else. Plus, this guy allows me to go into my rank 4 plays with Rosemary, or even Cactus Bouncer, because he's not a plant. So if this guy's sitting on the field, I can summon him and go into a rank 4 play or something. So it just helps me out, rid the field, and helps me get stuff during your turn. And then I run the one Glow Up Bulb for my tuner. Very easy to get out. Since I have Lone Fire plus Foolish Burial, all this other stuff to get out, plus the sound effect, obviously. That is all the monsters. I'll probably be inputting a Thunder King Ryo since it's going to 2 this format. I'm only going to run 1 though, because I do search a little in this deck. Not a whole lot. Only 1 card searches in this entire deck, but I use it a lot. So I figured 1 Ryo wouldn't hurt, and I might side the other or something. But for the spells, I think there's 11 of them. I run, obviously, the triple Aroma Garden. You have to pull this in really fast because this is a big part of your plays. And it gives all your... you can only activate it when Aroma monster's on the field. It gives all monsters, not just plant, the 500 attack boost. So Jurighetto becomes like a 22, Synchro monsters, whatever, and it's all during that turn. And even if you get rid of it that turn, as long as I activated the effect, it still lasts even if it's gone. And then I run triple Magic Planner. The draw power in this deck is really, really good already with Jasmine. But I find that I'm gonna use, since I'm using a control build, I use a lot of traps and they get stuck up. So I just figured I'd run 3 of these. So these actually work really well. I might take one of these out for that Thunder King Ryo though. And then I run Foolish Burial to dump my bulb. I run a Regeki to get, kill back row. Terraforming to search my field spell. The Soul Charge to get everything back. And one Twin Twister. I'm siding the other two just in case, but the one Twin Twister should get me over a lot of things. And that's the conclusion of my spells. For my traps, I think I run, I'm not 100% sure how many of these are, but triple, I think there's 16. Triple Humid Winds. This is the search card I was talking about. You pay 1,000, and you get Search and Aroma, and then if you have less life points than your opponent, you can gain 500. So, and I can chain it on top of each other, which is really good. Both effects can be going off on my turn and your turn. So, if I have less life points than you, I'm going to use the plus 500, and then get all my pluses on your turn, because it can happen that way. And then if I'm over if I have more life points than you, then I have no problem spending 1,000 to search for the monster that I need. And then I run 2 lose 1 turns because effects suck and I really don't like it. And I don't really special summon that much, but when I do, it's really not a big issue. I usually special summon a Jasmine and then I'll get the effects off the turn after. So this doesn't really hurt me too much, but it hurts a lot of everybody else. So why not? And then I run 2 Fiendish Chains. Just for more Magic Planner targets, really. I might cut these since I have lose 1 turns, and I might make these Call the Haunted, because Call the Haunted still becomes a face-up thing, and usually a lot of people will, like, bounce stuff back to your hand, or like seed monsters or something like that. So these might become Call the Haunted, so I'm not 100% sure on it yet, though. And then, since this is a life point gain deck, I find no issue playing the Solemn Scolding. Pretty much this is a Solemn Judgment, but it has to be the only set card on the field. And since everything is a continuous trap, or a continuous spell or something, this is very easy. It's very easy to have this the only set card on the field. So that's why I run 2 of these, and 3,000 cost isn't that big of a deal if I'm gaining life points all the time. And then of course Solemn Warning. So I run pretty much a brigade of freaking Solemns, and then 1 Dried Winds. I want to bump this to 2, but I don't have another one, and this is really good too. This is basically my nuke. I can. It says if I have 3,000 or more life points than you, I can pay the difference between mine and yours and destroy all your monsters on your field, which basically is another dark hole for me. But I really like the first effect better. It's when I gain life points, I can target 1 monster on your field and destroy it. So, and I constantly gain life points, so it's not that big of an issue for me. So this is a 40 card deck, and that just went everywhere. But let me know what you think. Let me get into the extra deck and then side deck. So the extra deck isn't completely finished, but because I just haven't decided what I want in here. I normally never really go into this extra deck, but it's here just in case. The 1 Sky Cavalry for the 2, if I overlay 2 Jasmines, it just gets over some beat sticks, and if I need to stall, it's easy, because they can't destroy this by battle. The Fortune Tune, I have Lone Fire and Kanaga that can go into this. It just helps me, stall some more and gain life points at the same time. So, and it can't be targeted, so it's really great. The Nightmare Shark for game, if you're under 2,000 life points, and I can go into this and do it, why not? For my 4s, these are very utility-based only, so the Dweller to stop graveyard effects, the Daigusto Emerald to recycle, the Castell to get rid of, anything I really want to, the Dark Rebellion to get over really big stuff, the Crab King just for defense purposes, and then I'm missing a Utopia, a regular Utopia, because I have Lightning. I'm letting a friend borrow the other one because he had Lightning, but he didn't have the Utopia, so I let him borrow my Utopia. But that's it for the Exceed monsters. For the Synchros, I do play a Trish, because it's very easy to do with Soul Charge and a lot of other reasons. The 1 Scarfiend, it says Ghost Rare, so if you can't see it, Scarfiend Dragon. The only 8 I run. Black Rose to nuke the field. Sacred Sky Wyvern, because this is a life point deck. Sometimes I'm like 4K, 6K above my opponent. This guy gains everything, the difference. So, he's just a big poke you in the butt. The Chumbara, I run Chumbara so I can double attack you know, just to get some damage on the board. And then I'm not 100% sure about this card. It's a Tatsuka Noko, it's a tuner, and anything I can use stuff from my hand as the synchro material, which usually I would only use this to go into a 7, like either Black Rose or Sacred Wyvern. Only reason I really use this because I would only want to use one thing, but if I had to, I would go into like Trish with it, but I don't really know what else to use. I don't want to use synchros as much in this deck because of the fact that I only have one tuner right now. Once Aromatherapy Angelica comes out, I have 3 tuners. 4 tuners if I keep both in. So I haven't really decided what to do on that part yet. For the side deck though, I have 2 Majesty's Fiends. I'm not 100% sure about this card because I don't like to tribute too much. But this just stops this stops Cosmo and stuff like that for me and stuff. They still cause me issues sometimes. So, but Dark Destroyer going to 1 is really helpful in my opinion. So I run those might get changed. Then I run Triple Flying Sea because Burning Abyss and Phantom Knights are still a thing. Even though Sir went to 1, that doesn't really hit them that much. So I still expect to see the Speed Void burning PK Fire stuff. So I really love this card. That stops them almost completely, unless they have something they contribute for it. But usually they don't. And then the other 2 Twin Twisters, just in case I become a heavy back row, heavy something deck, whatever. Not really for pendulums, because I have another answer for pendulums you'll see here in a second, but this is just there just in case. For pendulums, obviously anti-spell fragrance. Since I run a continuous trap heavy deck, this is not that big of an issue. The only issue is when I want to play my spells, but it's really not that big, really big of an issue. So this really stops metal foes and anything really pendulum in mind. So I would rather do that any day of the week. Double Rivalry, since all my shit's pretty much plant, why not? And I have a guy at my regionals that plays Super Quantum, and they're like Psychic, Warrior, and Machines, so this really screws him up, and he can't get the ultimate Megazord on me, or whatever you want to call it. And then in this deck, I run the triple Imperial Iron Wall to stop everything that banishes, because I do not like to banish in this deck whatsoever. So, guys, that's my deck. That is what I'm probably taking to regionals this weekend. I will be doing another profile in about 30 to 45 minutes from now on my DDD deck profile. That will be second. It really depends on what I'm going to be using, or what my team's going to be using. We're developing a new team here in Lawton, Oklahoma, and we're going to be going to Arlington with that team, and there's about 5 of us. It really depends on what they play. If they play aggressive decks, I'm going to play the control deck. It's just, I'm going to balance the team out. So, you know, if you see us there, hit me up. My name's Speak the Merc, or just Speak. Most people just call me Speak, so see you in Arlington.